Hello sports fans, it is Monday, April the 1st, the year 2013, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Believe it or not, baseball season is here. We have opening day in MLB today. We had a game last night. We are already in April. I hope you guys had a nice weekend. I hope you guys had a nice holiday. We have a lot to cover in the sports world today, including who's in the Final Four. We're going to recap all that. Before I get to all that, I want to share a quick story with you because as you can see, I have some bandages on my hands here. Saturday here in New York was a nice day. First nice day we've had in New York in about 6 months. You know, we had a long winter. We had like a 55-degree day here in New York. So I said, oh, let me go out on the bike, take a nice bike ride. It's a nice day. Let's get some fresh air. So I'm on my bike. I just barely get on the bike. I'm on the bike maybe 2 minutes. I'm riding down, one of my blocks, around the corner from my house, and all of a sudden, a dog, yes, a dog, a German Shepherd, comes from out of the blue, smashes right into my right tire as I'm riding. I'm totally caught off guard, so I try and stop the bike. I almost am able to get my feet down, but the momentum of the bike hits me in the back and pushes me completely forward, fall on my hands, cut up my hands, sprained my shoulder, a little hyperextension in the elbow here. I still can't straighten out my arm. Cuts on my knees, bruised thumb, bruised hip. I got black and blues all over my leg, my ankle. I'm bloody. I got blood all over my shirt. A complete mess. So I'm gathering myself. I have my pants stuck in the bicycle chain. A complete disaster. By the way, I could have laid there for days and no one was going to help me. There was absolutely nobody outside but me. No cars came. I'm basically trapped under my bike. I finally get my composure together, get the bike, situated, and I'm trying to figure out what just happened. And the dog is basically running down the block. No owner. No leash. He did have a collar on. A German Shepherd running like nothing happened. Like no damage to him, it looked like. I mean, maybe he hit the front of his face, but he did yelp when he hit my bike, but he seemed fine. And here I am, bloody, bruised. I got bruises all over me, black and blues. And all I wanted to do was take a leisurely bike ride on a nice day, and a dog from out of nowhere, didn't see him, came from behind a parked car, basically hit right into my right tire as I'm riding the bike. By the time I realized he was there, he'd already hit my tire, and I was so flustered that I couldn't gather myself, and I basically went flying over the handlebars right onto the concrete. So I am bruised, battered, and beaten today, but I am here sticking it out with you, talking sports. So that is my little story over the weekend. I hope you guys had a better weekend than I did. Okay, so let's get to the recap of what went on over the weekend. Let's start with our NCAA tournament. I last left you on Friday, so let's recap from Friday on. Friday night, Louisville handled Oregon. They kind of had that game in the bag from start to finish. Oregon made a couple of rallies, but was never a threat to win that game. Also Friday, Duke with a really nice win. They bombed Michigan State. They really handled Michigan State well. I thought that game was going to be closer. Florida, as we expected, ended Florida Gulf Coast's run. Listen, Florida Gulf Coast had a tremendous run. We knew it was going to end. We figured it would end against the mighty Gators. It did on Friday. And also Friday, Michigan came back and beat Kansas in overtime. Kansas and their fans must be sick days later. They had a 12-point lead with 3 minutes left. They couldn't make a free throw. Michigan hits a bomb three to tie it at the end of regulation. Kansas must be sick. The way they coughed this game up, and give Michigan all the credit in the world for coming back. They could have easily hung their heads down 12 with 3 minutes to go and said, listen, it's not going to happen today. They fought. They came back. They tied the game. They win it. All the credit to Michigan. Kansas must be sick. They couldn't make a free throw down the stretch. Totally blew this game. I mean, just an awful, atrocious loss by Kansas. It'll take the whole offseason to get over a loss like that. So that was what went on Friday. As far as Saturday in your Elite Eight, Syracuse beat Marquette. I'll tell you, Syracuse is looking really good. Syracuse, who played bad ball most of the end of the regular season, started to get their mojo back in the Big East tournament. Syracuse in that 2-3 zone is really playing well. They handled Marquette no problem. Also on Saturday, Wichita State. How about Wichita State? They make the Final Four. They beat Ohio State. Wichita State had a 20-point lead. Ohio State comes all the way back, but Wichita State holds them up. Wichita State makes the Final Four. How many people had the Wichita State Shockers in their Final Four? How many? I know I didn't. I liked Wichita State. I love their name, the Shockers, the Wheat Shockers. No way in the world did I think they were making the Final Four. So Syracuse and Wichita State on Saturday punched their ticket to the Final Four in Atlanta. Yesterday on Sunday, the early game, Michigan, off their improbable comeback, the other day against Kansas, they followed that up and they trounced Florida. This game was over right away. Michigan had a 13-0 lead the opening moments. It never got any closer. Florida was out of it from start to finish. Florida looked lost. Michigan looked really, really good, capitalized on the momentum they had after the Kansas win. Michigan also in the Final Four. And then the late game yesterday, the Battle of the Titans, Louisville beats Duke. Louisville with a huge second half. I mean, Louisville in these second halves looks unstoppable. I mean, they just put a swarming on Duke in the second half. I mean, they swarmed all over them. Duke couldn't make a shot. They got no open shots. Curry didn't have a good game at all. No one shot the ball well for Duke. Louisville's defense really looked good. You have Zhang in the middle blocking shots left and right. The good guard play. Louisville just put on an exhibition in the second half. I'm getting accustomed to this with Louisville. They did it against Syracuse in the Big East tournament. They just go on these runs and they just run you right off the court. Now, also, I don't know if you saw it, the injury to Louisville to Ware. What a horrific injury that young man had. I mean, he basically jumped out of bounds, landed on his leg. His leg shattered right in front of the Louisville bench, right in front of Rick Pitino. Louisville players were in tears. You wonder how they were going to react after that, because soon after that, the game was tied, but Louisville regrouped, and they just blew out Duke in the second half. We hope Ware gets back on the court very soon. That was a catastrophic injury. I have not seen too many leg injuries in basketball look that bad, so we wish that young man the best. And he is from Atlanta, so Louisville gets to the Final Four. They go to Atlanta. They dedicate the game to Ware, and he is from Atlanta, by the way. So our Final Four, we have Syracuse, Wichita State, Michigan, and Louisville. Those are your Final Four teams. Who had that Final Four, by the way? So the matchups for the Final Four, you have Louisville against Wichita State. Talk about David and Goliath. And then you have Syracuse against Michigan in a very, very nice game. Really nice game. We have basically a full week till the college basketball gets going again. These games don't take place till Saturday. So we got a nice little break here. So that's kind of what went on over the weekend as far as your NCAA tournament. And so I wanted to mention the women's game real quick. Two major upsets on the women's side in the NCAA tournament. Stanford lost. They were a #1 seed. And Baylor, I caught the end of this game. The Lady Bears of Baylor, who everyone picked to win the national title. They won it last year. Only lost one game this year. Have Griner, who's a tremendous player who can dunk. Tremendous player. Baylor gets upset by Louisville yesterday. Louisville has a huge lead. Baylor finally comes all the way back. They take a 1-point lead. Louisville gets fouled at the end, makes 2 free throws, and wins the game. Upsets Baylor. Louisville was on fire from 3-point range, and they did a great job on Griner defensively, double and triple teaming her. So I want to mention that in the women's game, Stanford and Baylor upset. Very surprised by both of those scores. Okay, other things that went on in the sports world over the weekend. NBA will start on Friday. NBA on Friday, Boston beat Atlanta, Memphis beat Houston, Miami beat New Orleans, San Antonio beat the Clippers, and Denver beat Brooklyn. As far as Saturday, Houston beat the Clippers, and Dallas beat Chicago. That was a very important win for Dallas. They were down huge in that game. If they lost that game, they probably had no chance of the playoffs. They came rallying back. Nowitzki with a big 3 keeps them alive for the 8th seed. Yesterday, Sunday, the Knicks handled Boston. Knicks playing a lot better recently. And Miami beat San Antonio. Bosh hit a 3 at the end of the game. This was a strange game because all the guys that sat out, Ginobili sat out for the Spurs, and Wade and LeBron sat out for Miami. So you had guys out all over the court. Miami does beat San Antonio. I don't know what you want to take from that game considering everyone else was out. So Bosh did hit a big 3 though. So Miami does beat San Antonio in yesterday's game. Also yesterday, as far starting over the weekend in the NHL, let's go back to Friday. Anaheim had a nice win over Chicago. Saturday, the Penguins beat the Islanders. The Penguins' winning streak continues. They cannot lose. They do lose Crosby for who knows how long, out indefinitely, I guess a couple weeks. He broke his jaw, got hit in the face with a puck. That looked like a nasty injury. Had some dental work done. Broken jaw. He'll be out a couple weeks, but he will be back for the playoffs. No signs of concussions, though, with Crosby with this injury, and that's what you're most concerned about with him, considering all the problems he's had with the concussions. He seems like he's going to be all right. Give him a couple weeks. He'll be back on the ice. Penguins can do no wrong right now. Also on Saturday, Montreal beat the Rangers. Montreal continues to play well. The Rangers continue to struggle. Toronto beat Ottawa, and Minnesota beat LA. And yesterday in the NHL, Chicago just manhandled Detroit in Detroit. It was like 7-1. I watched a little bit of this game. It was 4-0 early. Chicago just buried Detroit. Also yesterday, we had one Major League Baseball game. Last night, Houston beat Texas 7-2. I think Houston's going to be one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, but last night, opening day, they showed some stuff. They beat Texas last night. They got a good, well-pitched game. Also, some news and notes over the weekend. I did watch a little tennis. Serena Williams beat Sharapova in a very nice match. Sharapova took the first set. Serena Williams kind of flying back and won the last two sets. Serena Williams, even at her advanced age for tennis, still playing at a high level. And Andy Murray beats Ferrer yesterday. I'll tell you, CBS did a bad job yesterday. I mean, CBS did a terrible job. I mean, Murray and Ferrer are tied one set apiece. They're tied 6-6 in the deciding set, going to a tiebreaker. Now, CBS has to get off the air because they have to go to the NCAA tournament. So they basically pull the match. So basically, you're sitting there watching this match for 2 hours, and once they go to a tiebreaker, CBS pulls the match. They say, oh, you can catch it on the tennis channel. Yeah, that's all fine and good. What if you don't have the tennis channel? I don't have the tennis channel. We used to have the tennis channel. I don't have it anymore. So now you couldn't even catch the end of this match. They make you watch this match for 2 hours, and then the final finale, they pull it off the air. I mean, start the match a half hour or an hour earlier. You know you have your NCAA tournament coming up. You know you have to get to that. Make sure the match is completed, okay? Start the match like a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour earlier. I mean, no big deal. If the match ends early, you just, do like an NCAA preview or something. You can't have the people watch tennis for a couple hours, and then when the final points are being decided, pull it off the air. And a lot of people do not have the tennis channel. That is not a channel everyone has. I don't have it. I used to have it. Don't have it anymore. That's not a channel everyone has. So CBS did a bad job with their planning in this game. This match, Andy Murray does beat Ferrer yesterday. Also, I caught some boxing over the weekend. Alvarado beat Rios in a tremendous fight. This was actually a rematch of last year's Fight of the Year. This was Fight of the Year last year. Rios won the first match against Alvarado. They had the rematch here. Alvarado gets the decision here, so they each have 1-1. They will fight again. You can count on it. It's funny. Max Kellerman was trying to interview Alvarado in the post-match, and Rios kept interrupting, saying, three, let's do it again, 3 times. So Max Kellerman couldn't get a word in the post-match because Rios kept interrupting, saying, let's have a third fight, which they will. That was a great fight. If you can catch this fight on replays, usually HBO replays their fights during the week. Alvarado Rios 2, very, very exciting fight. And if you ever want to catch the first fight from last year, that was Fight of the Year. So Alvarado Rios, very, very nice fight. So that's kind of what you had over the weekend. That's kind of a little recap over the weekend. As far as what to watch tonight, as far as your NBA tonight, San Antonio, Memphis, Indiana Clippers, Portland, Utah. It's a very important game for Utah. They're battling the Lakers and Dallas for the 8th spot. NHL tonight, very big game. Islanders, Devils, they're battling for the 8th spot. Winnipeg, Rangers. Rangers got to pick it up. Rangers have to start scoring some goals. They got to pick it up. The time is now. Carolina, Montreal, St. Louis, Minnesota, Vancouver, San Jose. And, of course, today you have opening day in baseball. You have your afternoon games. Hard to believe we are in baseball season already. We're in April already. Are you kidding me? Going to take me a while to get into baseball season. I mean, we're in the midst of the college basketball Final Four. Hockey and basketball playoffs are starting. Going to take a while for me to get adjusted that baseball is still here. You do have opening day today. Let's run down who's playing in the pitching matchups. And also 2 notes as far as baseball this year. Remember, Houston is in the American League this year. That's very hard to get your head wrapped around. And also, Interleague will be played throughout the year. They used to play Interleague like a couple times during the year. Now Interleague is being played the whole year. So you'll have like an American League team playing a National League team like opening week. So that's strange as well. All right, let's start in the National League with your opening day. San Diego is at the Mets. Volquez against Nice on the mound. You have Miami at Washington, Strasburg on the mound for Washington, Chicago at Pittsburgh. You have A.J. Burnett opening up there for Pittsburgh, Colorado at Milwaukee, San Francisco at L.A. Very nice pitching matchup, Kane and Kershaw. Philadelphia at Houston, that's Hamels and Hudson pitching. St. Louis against Arizona, Wainwright and Kennedy, that is your National League. As far as your American League, Boston at the Yankees, Lester and Sabathia, Kansas City at Chicago, Detroit at Minnesota, Verlander on the mound for Detroit, Seattle at Oakland. You have, of course, Hernandez, King Felix on the mound for Seattle. And in your interleague, just like I was talking about, LA Angels at Cincinnati, Weaver against Cueto. That's a very nice matchup, a very strange matchup. Did you ever think you'd see the Angels against Cincinnati on opening day? Very bizarre matchup, but a really nice matchup. LA, Cincinnati, two really good teams, great pitching matchup. So you have some stuff going on today as far as your opening day. You have some NBA, NHL. We have a little break here for the college basketball. Okay, you guys are caught up. Thanks for bearing with me today. I'm a little under the weather today. I got cuts, bruises, scrapes, sprains all over the place. So I'm not myself today, but I did want to do a show for you today. So you guys, thanks for hanging in there with me today. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we'll recap what went on today. We'll also do maybe our NHL State of the Union tomorrow. Wednesday, we'll do our NBA State of the Union. You know, as the week progresses, Thursday and Friday, we'll start to get into our Final Four. Got a couple movies for the end of the week for you as well. I did catch a couple movies over the weekend. I'll save that till the end of the week. So that's that. You guys, enjoy the games tonight. Stay safe. I always say stay safe. I should have taken my own advice when a dog, of all things, tripped me up on my bike and caused all these injuries. Stay safe. Enjoy the games tonight. Enjoy your opening day in Major League Baseball. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, Tuesday. Take care.